Hello everyone and welcome back to another Black Desert Global Lab patch notes reading for August 8th. Today I heard we had a pretty good quality of life update and some more balance changes. So I wanted to talk about this for all of you non-patch notes readers. Global Lab notes come to the live servers the following week, so if you want to read this for yourself, I'll leave a link in the description to this. It's translated from Korean to English, so I'll try to make sense. And let's see. So, I heard there's a lot of good stuff. Today was a good patch notes day, and let's talk about it. Okay, so, character balance changes. Warrior. Actually, hold on. This week's change will bring us close to wrapping up the series of follow-up adjustments after the AP changes and all the balanced PvP stuff that's happening. And we're still reviewing the damage for each classes. So, yeah, that's a good thing, actually. Okay, so succession. Let's see, for warriors. When using the skill, the character direction has been changed to rotate according to the camera direction. I have noticed some classes can like grab you when they're not even looking at you. So, or like not just grab, but do skills. That was like the mouse movement, but some other classes can do like other things that aren't looking at you. So I'm glad this has been addressed. The attack power increase has been affected or strong when using certain skills. This is a flow. Defense increase from 20 to 40, some more DP during the stance. I think that's like Q block, I believe. Shield counterattack. You can activate vacuum counterattack. This is okay, amplified. Cool. Change to a shield throw technique. Cool. Admittedly, my experience and knowledge of warrior is minimal. I enjoyed playing this class, but I don't have a lot of time in it. But fun though. Catch and throw. Oh boy, let's see what's happening to the grab. The grab skill has been improved to connect smoothly after using the awakening skill. Well, that's good. Ranger. The status effect of the skill has been changed to apply in PvP as well. I believe this is Will of the Wind. Korean translation is different. Yeah, I guess it just applies to PvP. Status effects, that is. The skill has been changed so that it can be used while in longbow mode. And this one, it flows better, so it seems. Shadow target. This looks like an important skill because I remember seeing this picture. That's about my knowledge of playing Sork. Awakening Sork is so fun. I think just because of the animations and the scythe movement, it looks so cool. But then when I tried playing Succession Sorceress, it just wasn't there. Like, I don't know why. I like playing it because of the animation style and like the cool flashy abilities in Awakening, but Succession just wasn't it. But either way, health recovery increased. Movement speed from 15 to 20%. That's good. This is a good buff. Tamer. Knockback applied to PvP as well. Knockback changed to only monsters for this one. And tree climbing. Increase the amount of times the character can rotate towards the camera when using a skill. Oh, okay. Movement and knockback to PvP as well. Valkyries. What is this? Believe it or not, my first ever character that I made in this game back in 2016 was a Valkyrie, one of the OG classes. I never was able to get into Valkyrie that much, like even though it was my first ever class I made. But like there's a lot of down attacks, so like if you play Dark Knight, a lot of your attacks are shift plus a button. But Valkyrie has a lot of down attacks, so it's like S plus a button, and it's just a weird change that I haven't been able to get used to. Most characters are like shift plus button, but Valkyrie is a special one. Okay, so let's see. Movement speed reduction on hit has been added. DR equivalent, and fix the following skill. Righteous counterattack. W plus the, okay. So counters changed, and then more damage reduction. Bound has been applied to PvP as well. Dude, why did they even take away a lot of these skills for PvP? What is happening? Like, well, you should have just left it there. Or was it not there in the first place and they're adding it to PvP? Interesting. I don't know. Invincibility duration applied from 0.2 to 0.4. That's kind of good. That's a lot of time. If you're... People might not think this is a lot, but if you're PvPing and like you really have to make split-second decisions, this is a lot of time. Same with this one, invincibility increase. Oh, wait, hold on. Are wizards and witches getting buffed again from S tier to S plus tier? Let's see what's happening. Magic evasion. Change so that the super armor effect has been applied while using the skill. I feel like that should have always been. Like, if your skill is literally called magic evasion, you would think super armor would have been applied on that skill. Like, what in the world? Okay. Change to the same. Okay, so name change, I believe. Added ability to activate when moving backwards. This is actually a really good one. Wizard and Witch improved to activating left and right. Can be activated continuously. Well, that's good. This is a good change, actually. I was scared because I thought Wizards and Witches were about to get more damage bonuses when they're already S tier in both PvP and PvE. Dark Knight. This is that one skill that you trigger that's like, if you have this on, it drains your mana or MP, but like it increases this like attacks of all the skills that you already lock and you don't use it. So basically the skill is trash. All right, so while Vadir's Poison, that's not the right name, is active, the PvP damage is amplified. Execution, or I assume this is, yeah, Wheel of Fortune, Pitch Black Ashes. That's either Lunacy or Wrath of Corruption. Vadir's Madness. Also, they're actually changing this to actually do more PvP damage, even though it should be doing PvE damage and PvP. But okay, let's let them. This might actually be used now. So, Awakening, Seed of Catastrophe. Okay, all the main skills for Awakening. Power consumed, mental power. Either that's MP. Has been changed to 200 every 2 seconds. That's a big number, actually. If you have infinite potions, literally a non-issue. With that said, let me go see this in game. All right, so this is how the skill works. Right now, since 2018, this skill has been useless. So this is how it works. You slot this on, you press the button. You see how it's like active? When all these skills right now, you use this attack is 20%. However, all the attacks you use right now on it are locked, or you lock it, or they're actually just not worth it. So basically, as of the past like 7 years, this skill is useless, but now we might actually have a use for it. That's kind of cool, but it's only for PvP. Why? Who knows? Apparently, Prolibus thinks Dark Knights are too strong in PvE, but they'd like never seen Sage or Wizards or Witches for hashes. Anyway, that was cool. Let's see. Back to this one. I think this was an interesting change. I don't know why only PvP, but it is what it is. It's better than not having something. Archer. Stamina consumption for all these skills has been lowered. That's good. Lawn. Added the ability to flow with the fragrance marked onto. Okay, so 3 skills with gliding. Interesting. Don't you just like shift click anyway? Like, doesn't Lawn only have like a 6-button combo? But now you can flow it better. That's cool. I actually thought about tagging Lawn. They're so fun to play. Okay, what else is new? Bleeding damage. To reduce bleeding damage by 50 for 18 seconds. Interesting. Defense or DR plus 20 to 25. That's a good boost. Lawns are kind of squishy, so any like defense bonuses they get, that's good. Stiffness to knockdown. This is a W change. Like, this is actually good. Status effect from stiffness to knockdown is the strongest CC in the game. Guardian. Increasing down attack damage. Change the skill to apply knockback, and then add it to forward guard with the snow skill. Wait, let me see this. You would think that should have had a knockback, like, since Guardian got released like 5 years ago. Uh-oh, are hashes getting buffed or nerfed? Because hashes are low-key, like, right up there with sages, in my opinion. Since the last update, Hissashin movement combos and the revamped Paradise Beckons have been significantly improved. However, we've slightly nerfed that skill for balance. I knew hashes were like up there with sages. The difference is sages is easy to play, hashes are a little bit harder to play. But I think like in PvP, according to Arena of Solare as well, they were like both up there S tier. Stamina consumption 250 to 400, literally irrelevant for endgame players. Healing amount from 33 to 10%, also irrelevant if you have infinite potions and you have add-ons that add more life on hit regen. The effect of increasing air damage upon a successful hit changed from 10% to 2.5%. Ooh. It's kind of a big nerf, actually. But, you know, kind of justified and deserved, but that's kind of a big nerf. Awakening Nova. So, like, did Perlebish just forget Succession Nova existed? I think Succession Nova needs buffs because their PvE is not great. They're fun to play, but they're not great. So, added the ability to gain 15% increased cast speed for 30 seconds. Cool. Resets the cooldown of the orbital skill when using the skills successfully. That's pretty big. If they buff sages, I think people might riot. All right, let's see. Attack power has been added to a skill. Okay. We definitely didn't need that, but we'll continue reading on. Change so that it can be activated independently via controls. Oh, so you can hotbar the skill. After the last update, Awakening Sage has been, or performance has soared. Awakening Sage has always been good. You know, they were bad at launch. Then over the years, they got buffed. And then after the recent change, they got like top tier buffed. So like Sages have always been good. after the last patch, it just got a lot better. And I'm glad they looked at Arena of Solaire when the number 1 guy was also number 2, which is kind of funny, to be honest. And the fact that people are making second accounts and being able to get like 1 and 2 on the leaderboard for Arena of Solaire on Sage is like, I'm glad that person did it. You're setting an example, and you're making a point to the developers that like, this class might be busted. So like, whoever that guy was, you're good for you. Do it again, actually. I want them to actually realize that their classes are busted. All right, so smoother movement thanks to reduced stamina consumption, a new defensive effect. No, do you know what the problem with Sages is? They have permanent iframe rotations, and it's very hard to catch them or do damage to them. They can out stamina you and move faster than you. It's not really so much the damage, like the damage is good, but it's their movement. And that's something I've always said about PvP. The faster classes always win. It's not about the damage, it's the fact that they can like get in, get damage on you, and then move out, and you can't chase them. That's the problem. And the fact that, you know, some classes have permanent super armor rotations and protections, that's the problem. It's not the damage. Combined with its powerful AoE attacks, these tweaks have made Sage much stronger. To keep things balanced, will slightly increase the stamina cost, so you manage your that's not even the problem. Holy. It's the permanent super armors. We've changed Lightning Prison defense to forward guard. So precise positioning is now key. That's fine. I agree with that one. Skill stamina consumption has been 100 to 150. Literally an irrelevant change. The shock effect has been removed from the skill. Is that a big change? I'm not too sure. So I think how I would change Sage without completely destroying it, I think cooldown changes increased is good, especially on some of your movements. Or add it so you can only chain it, you know, twice instead of infinite movement. Kind of like, you know how Mooses can just like dash around infinitely? Add like a longer cooldown on it while keeping the damage and protections on the same thing. But I feel like these stamina changes are literally irrelevant. If you can still move so far away, you just stand there for an extra second or two while the other person is trying to chase you, and then you get your stamina back. Like, okay. Yeah, changing super armors to forward guards, I believe that is a good change. Cooldown reduction changed. I'm not really sure about the shock effect. I guess that's good. But yeah, this stamina should be like 150 to like 300. That way you have to move. The way I see PvP nowadays at high end, it's about who has more AP and who has the better protections. What I think it should be is who can outplay the other person instead of who can like maneuver, like not maneuver, but just like instead of movement, it's just who can just like outplay them, if that makes sense. But yeah, stamina consumption is so minor that I don't think Sages will even notice a difference, I'm gonna be honest. Well, I think some of these are good changes. Some of them are just like, oh, nothing happened. Megu. Life recovery effect has been 28 to 2000. I actually enjoy Succession Megu more than Awaken. Awaken looks flashier. Like, I like the pink instead of the red. But at the same time, it's just like it's harder to play. And I don't know. There's something about it. I like Succession more. Effect of increasing evasion from skills has been removed. That sucks. If you use a skill in a strong state, it has been changed to move after a preceding action. Okay. Awakening Megu can instantly dive with Foxfare. Lets you recover HP quickly. Okay. Interesting. Just movement and evasion. Dosa awakening range attacks were so strong they could easily take down foes from a solo distance, even though it's meant to support allies while attacking. To balance this, we kept his damage intact, but tweaked the debuff effects. Now finishing off enemies from afar with range will require help from your allies. Yeah, Dosos were kind of good. The status effect of skills have been changed from knockdown to knockback. That's a nerf. Unfortunate. Deserved, though. Knockdown to stiffness. Yeah. That's not great either. Change to effective distributed damage. When hitting 2 or more people in PvP, damage is reduced by 10% with a maximum of 50%. Can't do fat AoEs at full damage anymore. That's sad. It is what it is. I think they meant to make Dosa a support character in general, because they have, if you've played Dosa, basically they have a buff rotation, you know, all the 4 colors, right? And then those are like buffing your teammates and then debuffing. But the damage was unchecked when you get that full circle rotation going, and that's what they're changing. Life and recovery effects has been changed from 1200 to 500. Yeah, I think people can get used to this one, to be honest. It's kind of big, but like, if you know how to movement, like, you know your movements really well, this shouldn't be too much of an issue. All right, so with that said, this is actually one of the bigger changes that I noticed. The phenomenon of falling while on movement slopes. You know how, like, when you get caught and you're like, it looks like you're swimming in the air? They are fixing this 9 years later. This is actually one of the biggest changes that they've ever made. I thought they forgot this existed, even though it happens on the daily to people. So, like, this is actually a very good change. Why it took them 9 years, I don't know, but this, like, W change. The skills affected by this change are as followed. Let's look at Dark Knight. Notice how Dark Knight, basically every skill that movements off a cliff, you'll look like you're swimming in the air. Yeah, I can assure you that I have noticed this more than others, and when I ask people about it over the years, they're like, it doesn't happen to me. Well, guess what? It's all of the skills that matter, whereas Ninja only has like 2 of them. Dang. This is actually a very good change. I'm glad they're changing it. Holy, it's about time. Items integrated to the exchange inventory at the top of your screen, like the all-in-one currency screen. All right. Okay, so basically you don't have to click the button as many times. That's good. They're like, instead of buying 1 at a time, you can buy 10 at a time. Nice. The Hungry Drifter was located in the safe zone south of Ilia. Is that Hecaru or... Yeah, I think this is Hecaru, not Ocean Stalker. Has been moved further south of the combat zone. That is such an interesting change that, like, I don't think anyone had an issue with, but I'm glad it got changed, I guess. I don't think... Yeah, the Hecarus and Ocean Stalkers don't even attack you unless you attack them first. Oh yeah, so Krogdalo and all the Dream horses are getting changed, and soon, next month, or not next month, I believe, maybe later August, we're supposed to be getting a combined one. So if you have the Krogdalo Sanctuary, basically all 3 tier 10s, they're giving you a combined horse that does like all 3 in one. I like that, but at the same time, you know how when you see people on horses in towns and everywhere, you're like, oh, everyone has a different horse. That's cool. And now that we have a combined horse, I'm just like, oh, everyone is the same now, I guess. So it kind of ruins the diversity of like everyone has a different horse. Now everyone has the same thing. It's a good change overall. No one really cares, but it's just something I've noticed. But it is what it is. Maybe just add more outfits for the horses and then it's good enough. So it basically changes the horse style when you're doing the thing that the specific horse, like when you're flying, it looks like an Ardenaut. When you're triple drift canceling, it looks like a Doom. And then when you're running on water, it looks like a Unicorn. I thought they were giving us a fresh, newly made horse, kind of like a Voltarian, like a different design. No, they're just combining all 3 and it looks different. Okay. That's a little bit disappointing, but it is what it is. Like, I'm not complaining. I get mine for free. Everyone that has a Krogdalo Sanctuary gets it for free. How to get it? Krogdalo Sanctuary. Do a quest. Get the thing. Dang. You know what the worst part is? I have to level this up again. I don't like leveling up horses, not gonna lie. It takes time out of my daily grinding or doing literally anything else. But we gotta do it. I guess that's like, it's fine because now that my horse training level is higher, my stats should be overall better on this horse from when I got my first Pegasus in tier 10 like 4 years ago. Dude, I still have videos. When I got my first horse, my first tier 9 was Ardenaut, which is the flying one. And there were only 2 of them back in the day. There was the flying one and the unicorn. I was actually upset that I got the Ardenaut. Because back in the day, I was only like 230 AP, and I was grinding at places like Histria, and so I was in the desert a lot. But then I got the Ardenaut, and I was actually kind of upset. Nowadays, I always tell people you should get the flying one first because it will always be like overall better. And you know, it was a blessing in disguise. I love my horses. What does half of this mean? Fantasy horse exclusive. Oh, so it has all of the tier 10 exclusive abilities? That's cool. I guess that makes sense. Krogdalo level 1 abilities. What matters is acceleration and speed. Everything else is irrelevant. Who needs braking when you could just fly to your destination? And then hold S. Either way, I'm excited for this, but also after watching that video, I was like, it's not a new horse, it's just combining all 3 in one. I thought they were giving us like a newly designed horse that does all in one. It is what it is though. The following items are available and unavailable in Krogdalo. Okay. Okay, the UI for your loot scroll. Do you know how I know this is loot scroll? Because I saw 300 and 400%. 400 is if you're on our show with castle bonus. 300 is literally everywhere else. They're changing the UI so it looks different. Cool. Allowed the maximum number of pet and relic presets to be expanded. You know how I've always been talking about artifacts being more than 10? I've said that in multiple videos over the past few years. They finally listened. Thank God. Like, if you... Right now, we only have 10. Life skillers can use 10 of them without even adding any combat ones. 20 of them, I think, is good. Pet presets from 5 to 10. I mean, this one's good. I rarely change my pets, not gonna lie. I have one preset for life, one for combat, and one when I was grinding Tungrad with the birds for knowledge. And you know the Jojo bird that flies farther and loots more? Technically at Tungrad, if you use the Jojo birds, you get more loot because they could fly further when you're zooming. But aside from that, I only really have like 4 presets, and then I also have a fishing preset for durability reduction. That's one's a little bit different. But yeah, 5 to 10, that's like, it's better than no change, but I don't use 5 of them, to be honest. Like, I have a knowledge, fishing, normal life, and then combat. And then, oh, that's a lot of bug fixes this week. All right, well, all of these are just like minor issues, nothing super crazy. And that's about it. So, long patch notes this week, 30 minutes. We got some class balance changes. A lot of classes got nerfed. Dark Knight. I was expecting more from Dark Knight, but they're like, here, we're just giving you a PvP change. And then they like multiplied this by 10, so from 20 to 200 every 2 seconds. It's not really a big deal, but hey, maybe we get to try this now. That's like, this is a good change, but not the change that people care about, realistically. Anyway, that's all for me today. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Love to see you guys come back. We got a bunch of stuff coming out in the near future, still testing grind spots and everything. So those should be out as well. And yeah, hopefully we got some more guides and stuff coming soon. I'll see you guys later. Peace.